All right, everybody. It's the Shaw and Steele Show. Today is January 26th. Steel Chambers, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Bryson Shaw?
I'm doing okay.
Cool.
I'm doing okay. You know
Real
why?
cool. Why?
Because both the Broncos and the Rams let me down tremendously this past weekend.
I mean, I could have told you that, but no, you're pretty hard headed in your ways. You were positive that Stiddy was going to pull it off, and you were positive that Stafford was going to pull it off.
Well, first off, Stafford balled out.
Stafford,
Secondly, Stiddy, he made the critical mistake. I still think it was a forward pass. You think it was a backwards fumble. I'll die on the hill. That was a forward pass. And with that being said, I think both. Before we dive into these games, I think both definitely the Broncos. I felt like the Broncos were the better team, 100%. I felt like the Broncos blew it, and the Rams not as much because Woolen with the mistake and that type of stuff from the Seahawks, but I feel like the Rams also blew it with the muff punt. So I think the two teams in the Super Bowl aren't the two, the Seahawks are, but not the Patriots. So at the end of the day, I think the Rams blew it, and I think the Broncos blew it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the game's 60 minutes. You can't just point to a couple plays and say that's what happened.
I mean, but you can't. You can't point. Like, I hate that argument. You can't. The game comes down to a couple plays difference.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff happens after the fact.
All right, let's start with the Broncos. Let's just go into the Broncos Patriots. 10-7 Steele, you started off.
What a fun game.
It was a fun game.
As I was watching it, I was pissed off because I'm trying to think back to any snow games we had. We only had the one kind of against Michigan. Yeah. And that wasn't anything near what that was over there in the Mile High City.
Yeah. I mean, it went from, it was dark, a little bit cloudy, but it didn't look like it was going to snow. And then next thing you know, it was a damn blizzard.
They're showing like time lapses or whatever it's called. Like it was halfway through the third. There was a couple little inklings of snow around. Fast forward 20 minutes, and it's a blizzard.
A literal blizzard. All right, let's jump to the biggest kind of controversy of the game. Broncos are up 7-0. They go on a beautiful drive. What was it? It was like a 7-minute drive, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Down there into enemy territory, about 15-yard line, 20-yard line, something like that. They're faced with the 4th and 1. Steel Chambers, what do you think about the call to go for it and then the play design?
I like the call to go for it. I think you got a backup quarterback in there against a good defense. You don't know how many times you're going to be in the red zone, so I like being aggressive and you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea to go for it. I don't like the play exactly.
Right.
But given kind of your personnel and the fact that your run game is pretty abysmal for the most part, I understand like getting him out the pocket, trying to hit something in the flat, but it didn't work. I wish there was something maybe a little more creative they had in their back pocket.
Yeah.
But how about the Patriots standing strong? No bend, no break.
They got some beefy boys up there. But I'm with you, Steele. A lot of people on Sean Payton's ass saying he's an idiot for going for it. They're like, you should have known. He's like, he doesn't understand Denver weather. I forget who said that. One of those big analysts said that. First off, it wasn't snowing at the time. And secondly, it was a hell of a drive. So I don't mind him going for it. And then I don't know if you saw after the game, he said he dialed up a nice run play that he liked. And they called either a timeout happened or something happened, and he changed the play call. And he said he knew he probably shouldn't have changed that play call, but he just rocked with it. So that's the one thing he said if he could change, he would have changed. And at the end of the day, the lack of run game got him because he didn't have the full confidence in his run game to get a single yard. I wouldn't have had confidence in that Broncos team to get a single yard. If I had Dobbins, I probably would have. But that's what did him in, and then the turnovers, and then special teams with the missed field goal at the end of the first half, and then I mean, I don't really blame him for that kick in the snow. Plus, it was blocked, but that was pretty. When the battlefield possession, when he didn't make that field goal, I knew it was over.
I mean, it was one of those things where they were just going to punt it back and forth. Who was going to at least get close enough for a field goal? But then the weather started coming into play. There was a whirlwind out there. No one was making anything.
Yeah.
So once the Patriots got up, I knew, okay, like I feel somewhat comfortable that they'll be able to pull this off.
Yeah. What did you think about the Patriots overall, Steele?
It's hard to like their defense looked fantastic. Their front seven is really good. I mean, they get so much pressure on the interior for the defensive line. On offense, they really need to do something on the outside with their tackles because Will Campbell was getting torched.
Listen, Steele, it's been a tough stretch for the rookie, but you got to remember, let's talk about who they've gone up against. The Texans, I think they're league, at least top 5, top 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, I know they're top 5, and then the Chargers might have been top 3, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 3. So he gets Khalil Mack, then he gets Daniil Hunter and that freak Will Anderson, and then he gets Benito. So that's a tough stretch.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough stretch, but it's just like you're seeing it on a week-to-week basis. They are looking at him and they are aiming like we're going to put our guy on him and see what happens. And it seems like every single game, whoever's lined up on him is racking up a couple sacks.
It's some short arms. It's some short arms, as they were saying.
I don't know. Luckily, the Seahawks, they don't have really that premier pass rusher, but it's just a bunch of guys who have like 7 or 8 sacks a pop.
In unison, yeah.
Yeah.
But Drake May, he did what he had to do. He's dangerous on the ground. He's proven to be a dangerous threat in these playoffs on the ground.
Using his legs, that's what won him that game, being able to scramble.
Yeah, so I think moving forward, we won't jump into the Super Bowl yet, but the NFC, the Seahawks are going to win. The Seahawks are going to win.
If you take away that mistake by Woolen, I think it's like a 14-point game or so. And the Rams, they looked fantastic overall. Like they looked like the second best team in the NFL, and I think they could have beat them pretty handily.
You're talking about the Rams?
Yeah.
You're talking about the Rams could have beat the Patriots?
No. I'm talking about the Seahawks could have beat them pretty handily if not for that Woolen mistake.
You can't really say that. It's like if the dude caught the punt, then the Rams could have won.
Well, it did no, but this is like more of a boneheaded thing. This is like
that's a pretty boneheaded play, muffing that punt, falling on your ass, the ball hits you.
He didn't try to freaking muff it. It happens. You go over there and catch. Go over there and catch a punt in the NFC Championship.
I would go out there and catch that punt in the NFC Championship and take it back to the house.
He's bouncing off your head, and you're going to look like a damn fool.
I would take it back to the house. But no, you do bring up a good point. The man in the arena for sure. So we won't be too hard on him. But Tyreek Woolen, we can be hard on him because that's something he can control. Yes, you do bring up a good point. But what this game came down to me, other than that and the muff punt, is it was what do we have? What do we have here? We had 31-20, I believe it was. Fourth quarter, I think. I forget the time. The Rams go down. They score. There's 2 parts to this. I don't understand why they didn't go for 2 to make it a 3-point game right there. I didn't understand that. Then when they get the ball back with about, 7 minutes left, go on a nice little drive, get down there with like 5:30 on the clock. It's 4th and 4. Just kick the field goal. You got some timeouts. You got plenty of time. Make it a field goal wins you the game. But they went for it, and the next thing you know, they got the ball with however many times, 40 seconds left on the clock, and they had to go score a touchdown. The game was pretty much done there. So I thought they mismanaged the end of that game. What did you think?
The 2-point conversion, I sort of agree on that. But I had a buddy call me saying the exact same thing about going for it on 4th down. I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I think it was somewhere around 4 minutes left. Yeah. And it's one of those weird situations where the Seahawks, their offense was humming. I mean, you couldn't stop JSN. Couldn't stop them to save your life. Walker's always dangerous on the ground. So I'm thinking in McVay's mind, he wants to get up right now instead of making it a 1-point game. And now if the Seahawks get a couple first downs, the game's over.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to be aggressive, take control, get that lead, and now you've got the Seahawks kind of on their heels, and now they have the pressure on them as far as going down and scoring. So
you think McVay was just like, man, my defense is getting carved up. He was playing like they weren't going to get a stop regardless.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is lose a game whenever the other team has the ball and they're just taking a knee, and that's probably the thought that was going on through his mind.
Yeah, I mean, and then you could also say, well, they don't get it. They're still pinned deep. You get the ball back with good field position. But it just came down to the secondary for the Rams was abysmal. They stayed in some zone, but, you put it out on your Twitter and stuff. Clint Kubiak was dialing some stuff up.
It's disgusting.
I mean, his ability to use JSN, he did it with Cup a couple of times out of the backfield. Like you brought up that scissors concept, bringing JSN on a scissors concept out of the backfield is insanity. So, I mean, they just out-schemed them. They out-schemed them and they outplayed them.
Yeah, I mean, every single time they got down the red zone, he threw out just a disgusting play out there, and it worked every single time.
No, man, I tell you, I've developed a little, soft spot for the Rams being out here. I really have, especially because I like McVay, I like Stafford, and Devontae Adams. Have you heard this stat? Devontae Adams?
0-5?
0-5 in conference championship games.
Sounds like bad luck.
0-5 in conference championship games might have me ready to jump off a ledge or something.
I'm trying to think. I mean, anytime I hear his name, I automatically think like him with the Packers, and I forget that he's like not old enough to be a part of that Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
It messes me up, but
he was getting hot there too in that game. He was unguardable there for like the third quarter or something.
He's get off his. I mean, how old is he now? Like
I don't know.
Mid-30s.
He's got to be getting up there a little bit.
Still, his get off is the best in the entire NFL. And then of course Puka Nacua, just an absolute dog.
He is a football player and a freak athlete. That guy is the full. I think he's. Still, if you could pick any wide receiver in the league, I think you'd want him, right?
Oh goodness, I'm big on Amon-Ra.
Yeah, he's another.
But Puka is definitely the top 3.
Well, they're similar. They'll stick their nose in there and really get after it in the run game. They can run the route tree, so they are very similar. So I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but how about our boy, man? Well, he's developed into our boy recently. Eamon Warry, another fantastic game. He's covering guys in the slot. I think he had like 2 or 3 PBUs, running and hitting. I mean, that guy is seriously something. He allows that defense to be what they are.
He's the ultimate chess piece. And I view it the same way as Ohio State with how they use like Arvo Reese and Caleb Downs. He could just do so much for you that you can kind of just plug him wherever you need him, and he's going to excel at whatever you got him doing.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, Steele, or you bring up a topic of debate, because I guess you haven't been around him either, but I'm seeing a bunch of Ohio State fans saying Eamon Warry's level of play is why Caleb Downs should be drafted so high. And, Caleb Downs is a great player. He's a fantastic safety. But I don't think you can compare the two. I don't think they're comparable. I think in terms of – what do you think?
Caleb Downs is definitely more cerebral. And
he's not an athlete like that, though. He's not an athlete.
He's an athlete, but he just doesn't have the same size.
Right.
And I'm not going to – we don't know because he hasn't gone to the combine, done all the numbers and stuff. But it's going to be very hard to replicate Eamon Warry's numbers and he's what, 6'2", 6'3", 225?
Yeah. Massive.
Yeah, that's hard to replicate, but he can do stuff for you in different ways though.
Yeah, because they were saying the tweet that was really blown up was the best next year's best, because I see this probably because I'm a DB, best nickel/box safeties will be Kyle Hamilton, Jalen Petrie, Eamon Warry, and Caleb Downs.
That's some elite company. Those 3 are absolutely. I love Petrie. We've talked about a bunch.
Petrie, well, I love that combo because they got Petrie who does it all, like we're talking about hitting, and then they got my boy Bullock back there from USC, who's just a lengthy, rangy guy going. That the Texans, man, they got all levels of their defenses,
and they're young.
They're young.
It's a young squad. But that if anyone can do it, it's Caleb Downs, but it's going to be hard to just come into the NFL and just immediately put yourself in that conversation. That's like first, second team all pro sort of stuff.
No, I know. Yeah, I think they're getting a little too
I think he can do it though, but
no, I think he can do it too. I mean, I've watched him. He can cover. He can get in that box. He can tackle. He's great in the run fits. So I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying I don't think he is. I think cerebrally, like you said, or however you want to say that word, he's as good he's as good as it gets. I really do. But I don't think he's the same level of pure athlete as those guys. Maybe Petrie and him are comparable. But Hamilton, I mean, that's like freaky dimensions with Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then,
plus, like as a rookie coming in, the mind part of it that he excels on so much in college, that's going to take a lot longer to kind of develop in the league. Whenever you could be going up against Aaron Rodgers, who's been running an offense for 20 years, it's going to be hard to trick him. And then you got guys like Kyle Hamilton, Imawari, who they just get out there and they're just physical, fast dudes, and that kind of just translates a lot faster. So it'll take probably a little more time, but once he gets going, he's going to be an all-pro.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to do good. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's going to be a Pro Bowler, and let me tell you something. If Shedeur Sanders can be a Pro Bowler, then
that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
What? Hey, so Shedeur Sanders gets announced as a Pro Bowler like 15, 20 minutes ago. I go on my phone, because I like to see what's going on, what people are saying, and you would be surprised by the overwhelming amount of support this is getting and receiving. They're talking about he had 3 wins with this roster, with the coach at blah, 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 blah. Like, he deserves it. A lot of people coming out for support, which was really surprising to me. And I think this just shows kind of where the NFL is at today. It's an entertainment game. It's an entertainment game. It's what's going to sell tickets, what's going to sell viewership. And I think that's a lot less unfair to a lot of other players out there.
Yeah, I mean, he has the opportunity to have a really good career. And he was put in a really weird situation with Stefanski and everything. But, let's just look at the stats and what happened. He didn't win that many games. His touchdown to interception ratio, I think it was 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
Yeah, something crazy.
So, are they just giving him this Pro Bowl based off what they think he can be in the future? Because he obviously did not earn it on the field. There's no world where you can say he did. So then it probably comes up to what you just said. It's just an entertainment thing. People want to sell Shedeur Sanders Pro Bowl jerseys and just add more eyes to whatever rinky-dink games they do, because no one watches that.
No, it's flat. I mean, it's a flag game this year. But I will say, I do think Shedeur has a chance to be a really, really solid quarterback in the pros. So, we'll see. We'll see. Man, but I want to circle back to the Broncos.
Okay.
Because I do want to talk about Stidham real quick. I meant to brought this up. I know it's a snow game. Very, very tough to tell. Very, very tough to judge. But did you have the chance to watch Malik Willis with the Packers this year when he had some starts? Or no?
He's really good. He's like a premier backup quarterback that everyone wants.
I think Malik Willis can be a legit starter in the NFL. I think he's going to get a legit shot with a team this upcoming year. Do you think after watching that performance, Stiddy can be a legit starter in the NFL, or do you think that game's so sloppy and just too tough to tell?
Too tough to tell, and I wouldn't – if I'm another team, I'm not using this game as something off of this, I'm now going to try to get him as a backup quarterback and possibly a future starter. I'm not going to do that. I mean, you saw it in the play calling. The Patriots literally had a rollout, just dump it off into the sidelines, we used to have, just a rundown clock. They did that in the middle of a game.
Right. with the snow and everything. I tell you what, when the Patriots switched up, once they started saying, you know what, we're going to lock these receivers up and get after them, that's what changed that game. I mean, those receivers weren't helping them out a whole lot either, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, they got Gonzo on the outside. He's pretty locked down.
I know he gave up.
They can't run the ball. So there's no fear whatsoever as far as them getting loose on something.
They'll be back next year, though. They'll make some changes as long as they keep Benito.
Well, dude, you put Bo Nix in that game and the Patriots play the way they did, I mean, the Broncos probably win.
Oh, no, 1,000%, because Bo Nix can get a little active with his feet, too. I mean, he's got that kind of – he's kind of like Drake May in terms of running the football.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Steele, what else you got for us, man? What else you want to talk about?
My goodness. Talked a little bit about Arthur Smith the other day.
Yeah.
That's I'm on the positive bandwagon for that now.
I'm on the positive bandwagon too. I thought about it, and the more people I see talking shit on our videos, the more it makes me positive.
Yeah, we had some dude saying that like Penn State, everyone's going to be feasting against us. Good luck, Penn State. I mean, come on.
Oh, Steele, I know what I want to bring up.
What?
The USC Trojans. You're always trying to dodge my Trojans.
Oh my God.
See, this is bullshit. Don't turn your head to the side and say, "Oh my God." We talk about Ohio State all day long. Why can't you talk? And I don't ever bitch and complain about it.
Because you went there.
Okay, but still, you got to show some respect for your brother.
Got no respect.
You got to show some respect for your damn brother, Steele Chambers. Gary Patterson, defensive coordinator. You need me to tell you about him?
You need to tell me everything about him.
Okay, he was at TCU from 2000 to 2021. Before he took over TCU was like a small little private, shitbox program. No disrespect. He takes over TCU, gets them in the Rose Bowl. They finish inside the top 10. 7 seasons, I think, out of the 20 he was there. And he had the top number 1 defense in the country at TCU. 5 years out of the 20 he was there. And he actually had the number 1 defense in the country 2008, 2009, 2010, which I think is the only coach that ever have a number 1 defense for 3 consecutive seasons. I could be wrong, which is impressive. You got to admit that's pretty impressive. But he hasn't coached the last couple of years, and he's kind of coming out of a little bit of a hiatus. He was helping out with like Texas or something to be the defensive coordinator. So I think I think this is a good little get for them.
Congrats.
That's all you're gonna say.
I don't know. This is a Joe Schmo to me. I don't know who this man is.
You need to do your research.
I don't know what he brings to the table.
You need to do some preparing next time.
I'm gonna let the West Coast do their own thing.
Wait till USC beats the shit out of Ohio State next year.
I'll be waiting.
Then what?
I'll be waiting.
Okay, you'll be waiting. You're gonna find out.
Arthur Smith of all people is about to carve you up.
You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. Just wait till that happens.
Yeah, because you guys are a stellar program, aren't you?
Oh, we are. Just wait.
Mm-hmm. Great culture.
Just wait. Just wait. All right, let's move on. Steele, do you have anything else? Because if not, that's it.
I mean, goodness gracious. You had your little USC talk.
Yeah, I had to get that in there.
Shut up. Oh, gosh. What else is there? Oh, my gosh. A pin. There we go. Oh, good heavens. Goodness gracious. I don't really know.
Well, then it looks like that's it, man.
Damn. You're a Game of Thrones guy, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch Night of the 17?
Yeah. I'm going to beat your ass.
Why?
I'm going to beat your ass.
Why?
Because I told you about it a couple weeks ago, and don't say I'm a liar. You're always trying to accuse me I'm a liar. You might just have full-blown CTE by now. And you're like, I'm not watching that. Don't bother watching it. I know the story. I know how it goes. It's going to be stupid. Don't even bother. Well, guess what? I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I would rate it a 9 out of 10 so far. Maybe even a 10 out of 10. It's phenomenal.
Ew.
Have you watched it?
I watched 15 minutes of the first episode, and then I turned it off.
Okay, well, that's on you then.
Not the vibe. I don't know. Maybe us men like a little more intensity and like heart stuff. You probably needed it like dialed down a little bit to kind of match your kind of vibe.
Well, the intensity is picking up. The intensity is picking. Okay, Steele, we're gonna sit on here and talk and act like I'm not an intense person.
I mean, I think you just need to dial down. Maybe it was a little too much for you, like the actual Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon stuff.
Okay. Steele, you gotta see. You just can't like see the big picture of things. You can't see the big picture of things. Watch the first 2 episodes. They're 30 minutes long, and
I know how it goes. I know the story. I know the lore.
All right, I'm just not
I
going to be.
figured they'd at least like tell it in a cool, intense way, but no, it's almost like a family show.
It's not a family show. It's not a family show.
I mean, okay, first of all, if they have the intro music playing, you're thinking, okay, Sir Duncan's about to get active. Next thing you know, he's squatting behind a freaking tree just shooting out. Yeah, that's not the vibe. I don't want to be laughing in Game of Thrones. I want my heart to be racing. Wasn't racing.
Okay, well, it's picking up. I can tell you that it's picking up. You got
freaking no dragons.
You got a jousting tournament. There was a dragon actually, so you're an idiot. There was a jousting tournament that just took place yesterday, and it was as intense as it gets. Sir Duncan sitting under the thing talking about. I'm telling you, it's gonna get active. You're mistaken. You're mistaken. If you're not watching it, you're mistaken.
No, I'm watching Survivor.
Okay, then this guy wants to talk about intensity and man stuff, and then talk about how he's watching Survivor.
Season 13, not the new school shit. Season 13, Cook Islands. Everyone's separated by race. That's back whenever you could actually talk about that stuff.
This guy wants to talk about all this, but okay, that's fine.
God, what happened, man? You changed.
Okay, I'm ending this. I'm done.